It's so good to be back at Bates, and I want to congratulate all you graduates, because I know, I know what it's like to struggle for something that you really want, to start out and be in a sea of people. You don't know really who's going to be your friend. You don't even know if you're going to get along with your roommate, I remember the first time I came to Bates, it was in the spring of my junior year of high school, and my mother and I took a plane from Boston up to Lewiston on Bar Harbor Airlines. The plane was I think it was about 8, 9, 10 seats, something like that. And we came up here, and I remember at the time thinking that it was like an outpost. I felt like I was somewhere in the North Pole. Because I come from Colorado. That's where I was born and raised. And it was so far. And at the time, I just wanted to get out of Colorado and see the world. And it's funny that I chose Bates to see the world. But then when I look at all y'all, I can see that you are the world. And even more so than when I was here. When I was here, there was a flavor of international students. There were different people, different ethnicities walking around. But as I see Bates today, I see that that's intensified, and there's even more of you out there. There's a real mosaic, so I want to congratulate you on that as well. And the second time I came to Bates was during the so-called Minority Student Weekend. I was a senior in school, and at the time, I remember thinking, being so excited to come here and to meet all these other Black, Latino students, and to dream about coming to a place like this. As I traveled, after I left Bates, after I graduated, I realized that I wasn't a minority. In fact, there's really no such thing as a minority. You can box off a place and then count off the people and say, oh, you're the minority. But if you're looking at the whole planet, I don't really like to talk in those terms. And I feel that Bates really helped me to expand my view of the world. It was at Bates that I got to interact with people that I'd never thought I'd interact with before. People from Africa, people from the Caribbean, people from East Asia, from West Asia, from all over the world. And this was my jumping off point to discover the world. Because as I said before, I'm from Colorado, And at the time where I came from Colorado, it was a very, how can I say it? I was saying this last night. I guess I can just be frank. When we would leave Colorado, you would go other places and people didn't have jerry curls. You know what I mean? But we would come back home and we were still rocking the old styles, So there was always a sense that I was behind the times, But when I came to Bates, I got to really meet people, see different viewpoints, really get into discussion with other people. So I'm just so grateful to Bates for giving me that opportunity to expand my mind. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I would like to give you all some advice. I would like to say that as you leave Bates, that you be careful how you spend your money. I remember when I first got here, I never had a credit card, And I got to my mailbox, I think the first week, and there's all these credit card offers. And I thought, wow, this is great. Luckily, I didn't really take up on all that. But looking at the state of the economy, looking at the housing market, looking at the high amount of debt that Americans carry, I think it's very important that the young people start to endow themselves and not go out and get a new car to pay a high note. Actually, don't go out and buy all the new clothes and all the new technology. Don't go out endlessly and spend your money with your friends. Use your time wisely, because I'm 38 years old, and it seemed like just yesterday I was sitting where you all are right now. So please take your time and really use it well. Use the money that you make well. Save your money, because you're going to need it in the future. And always remember that education doesn't ever stop. It always keeps going. I remember after I left Bates, I spent a whole year writing an honors thesis. I was tired. I thought, I don't want to go back to school for a while, And as it turned out, I just started playing music, and here I am. But I would tell y'all that it's very important to always educate yourselves and always think of others and always nurture your intellect and your soul. I'd like to end just with a brief quote. This was said long ago by Haile Selassie, the Emperor of Ethiopia. He said, "The key for betterment and completement of modern living is education. But man cannot live by bread alone. Man is also composed of intellect and soul. Therefore, education in general, and higher education in particular, must aim to provide, beyond the physical, food for the intellect and the soul. That education which ignores people's intrinsic nature and neglects their intellect and reasoning power cannot be considered true education." And just to close, I remember that the poet Yeats once said that education, it's not filling a bucket, but it's lighting a fire. So I'd encourage you all to keep the fire burning. Bless you. Thank you.